it's me, Anakin, and I'm here to tell you, me and Pikachu are cutting this collaboration called 5 Top 10 Worst Pokemon Gym Leaders in the Pokemon games. I'm going to go through the first 5, and then Pikachu will take over and do the next 5. These are, just keep in mind, these are just our opinion for the Pokemon gyms we think are the worst. Number 1. My pick for the number 1 worst Pokemon gym leader is Rammus from the Pokemon X and Y series. This Pokemon trainer is the worst gym leader I've ever faced. If you had to start with me or any fire types, would have any type being Rammus. This guy had a whole just team of grass type that were easily destroyed with just fire. Because grass types have the most weakness. They're weak to flying, ice, and fire types. And bug types can take out grass types with no problem taking them out. This is why Rammus is the number 1 best, the worst gym leader, and his grass type is completely blazed out by fire types. Number 2, my pick for the number 2 worst gym leader, the gym leader that one first ever faced was Brock. This Pokemon trainer was pathetically easy. If you chose Bulbasaur School as your starter, you have to feel as Charmander had a better time beating him. This Pokemon gym leader from the Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. People actually start with, because in Yellow you do not have the 3 starters you could choose from. You have to start with Pikachu, and Pikachu was weak compared to Brock's Rock type, and it was really bad because that Pokemon was if you chose Mankey, you would have an easy time using Karate Chop and defeating the junior trainer male in his gym and then continue on being on Brock's Rock type Pokemon. That's why Brock was number 2 the number 2 spot as the worst gym leader. Number 3. It's going back to sticking with second gen, Bugsy. He was the worst Pokemon trainer anyone ever faced. Because he was the worst, because his bug team, he didn't use the fully evolved form of Caterpie or Weedle. He used 2 Cocoon Pokemon. The only Cocoon Pokemon he had was Scyther, but then he was so bad with his bug types. Who needs Butterfree and be the light guy Cocoon and a Metapod? That's why Bugsy earned the top 3 spot of being the worst bug-type gym leader. Number 4, we're going all the way to Pokemon X and Y again. It's Wilfric, the Ice-type gym leader. He is the worst one because your Pokemon, the two best for his Pokemon team, the best bets you could have were Fire types or Fighting type. Because it feels that guy had Lucario would have an easy time beating him and shattering all his Ice-type Pokemon. Some Pokemon, even though the types were critical, the Pokemon, he would actually heal them up with full restore or something. But he had the worst diverse team of Ice types that could just be shattered or burned or melted with a Fighting type or a Fire type. That's why Wilfric is the worst Ice type gym leader. At least with Candace, he had more diverse of a dual type. Now, my last pick for the number 5 top gym leader has to be Blue. It's Blue from the Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal, and Heart Gold and Soul Silver. This Pokemon trainer took place of Giovanni in the second gen and the remakes of the second gen games that were remakes. And this Blue used a full team of no star Pokemon from the Kanto region. After you beat him, you beat Blue on Cinnabar Island, but then he goes away to his team in the Viridian gym to take care of his Pokemon. And then easily defeated, and you can go to Mount Silver and defeat Red on Mount Silver. That's what my top 5 Pokemon. Those are the top 3 in my opinion. Now we have Pikachu today on his top 5 Pokemon. Hello, it's me, Pikachu, and I'm trying to cut down my top 5, in my opinion, of my top 5 worst gym leaders. Number 1. My top gym leader is Misty from the first generation of Pokemon game. If you can use me in Pokemon Yellow version, I would be actually zapping all Misty's Pokemon and the leader and the trainers in her gym. Because that start with me and took me and trained me up to learn Thunder Shock and Thunderbolt would have an easy time being Misty. That's why Misty is my number 1 pick for the worst gym leader. Number 2. It's the first gym leader which ever fought in the Kanto region, in the Johto region. I mean, would have to be Falconer with his diverse team of flying types. Just Pidgey and Pidgeotto. Even though they were weak, in the second gen, even though Pidgeotto got Roost in the remakes, by the first gen, his Pidgey and Pidgeotto was so weak because the field to train Mareep up and train up in the Sprout Tower would have an easy time being Falconer because his Pokemon would be clearly wiped out in the first generation of Pokemon games. In the second gen. Number 3 for the worst my number 1 3 for the worst gym leader, Blaine. This Pokemon trainer was the worst one because he would be the worst team ever because his team was the worst ever. His team was the worst team I've ever seen for things. Blaine, every Pokemon trainer that used Squirtle, and everyone that had Squirtle or had Pokemon that knew Surf, use this Pokemon. Use this trainer on their team because this trainer was the worst gym leader I've ever seen in the games. And number 4 would be another Ice type gym leader, Bryson. If you had caught a Fight type Pokemon in the Pokemon in the Unova region, would be the worst Pokemon ever. I think Bryson was the worst one because his team was a full team of Bryson. Even though Bryce had a more diverse team with water type and water part ice type, and that's why Bryson was the number 4 top the top 5 gym leaders in the game. Now, my last pick for the number 5th top gym leader, the worst gym leader in history. Who could top Bryson for the worst gym leader? Would have to be Jasmine from the Pokemon games in Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal, and Heart Gold, and Soul Silver because her team was full of steel because some steel types were either gone with fire, or just use your best water type. Use a powerful attack because most of the trainers that had Surf with them, and you could easily destroy her steel types with the highest powerful Surf attack. That's why Jasmine is the worst gym leader which ever faced, and I could top Bryson in the list. Did you agree with our opinions? I hope you did. If you don't agree with our opinion, make your own top 10 list. That's why we picked the top 10 worst gym leaders. Let me know if you want more lists of top 10 lists of the best gym leaders in the comments below, so we can make them. We love making videos, don't we, Fanatic? Yes, we do, Pikachu. Yes, we do. That's all. And before we go, we want to know what do you think you should agree with the top 10 list. Let me know in the comments below that because we've had a great time making this video. Fanatic and Pikachu, over and out.